Hey everyone. So I'm a little nervous and I'm just going to dive right into it. I wanted to talk about healing, recovery, creativity, and basically some coping skills that I've used throughout my 6 years of going through this journey. Some that have helped, some that haven't, but I've changed my life around 180 degrees from what it was. And I really want to talk to you about it because I've survived this far and I didn't come this far to only come this far, but I've talked a lot about that kind of stuff in the past little bit about publication bans and about the assault itself and just about the different things that have happened and the different ways that I was let down. Tonight's episode is about healing. And so for me, I after after the assault, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I literally didn't know how to live in my body. I didn't want to. I remember slicing the nail polish off of my toes with a with a knife after, and I just remember I didn't know how I was going to carry on and continue, and I didn't know what to do. It was it was quite a while um before things kind of evened out, but I I used all kinds of different things to try and cope, and some I'm more proud of than others. And that's essentially what I'm here to talk about because I'm a human and you're a human and I needed healing. And if you're listening to this, then maybe you'll get a piece of healing out of this too. Um, because it really, really sucks, like not knowing what to do. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of. Like I really hurt some people because I was hurting and and it sucked. It sucked. It sucked for them. Then it sucked for everybody. I was hurting so much and I didn't know how to talk about it or explain it to anybody. And all I wanted was the people that I love the most to see me for what was really going on within me. Like I wanted them to really see me and just like love me through it, if that makes sense. I think that it does because it really made a lot of sense to me then and it still makes sense to me. So, after I was done destroying myself and other people, at the end of August 26, 2018, I quit drinking for the good of myself, my sanity, my family, my future that I didn't even want. But I knew that I wasn't able to, I knew that I was stuck here. Like, I knew that I had a purpose. I knew that the more that I wanted to die, the more that I actually thought it was like punishment for me to stay living. And that's really hard to go through while the police are not believing you and you know that there's somebody out there hurting other people. And it's like wild to me too, because not only was he out there hurting other people, but like I couldn't do anything about it and I had to carry on with my own life. Like I literally had to pay bills and keep going. And so when I got into a bit more of recovery time, I started to just feel things more. And it was really, really hard. Thawing out was maddening because the physical healing side of things, like, that's nuts. It really, really hurts. And so healing my physical body and not having people ask questions and that kind of thing. Like, I remember my mom sorry, mom, but my mom one time I went to get my blood taken by her. She took blood and she asked me how I was so bruised. And I told her that it was because I'm gonna cry. I told her it was because I was moving that summer, and, Yeah, it definitely wasn't, but guess why I needed blood work. Anyways, yeah, addiction and trauma go hand in hand for me, at least anyways. Addiction and trauma don't have to go hand in hand. I didn't have to take my bus to the end of the block, as some people that I've met say, and you don't have to either. And what I mean by that, in case you haven't heard that saying, is like, you don't have to go until it's too late or until things are unfathomable or unmanageable or anything, because this isn't yours to carry. And it's really important, I think, for me to get the message out there, because I carried that for a really long time, and nobody told that to me. So like, if you're bruised up and you're trying to like tell your mom that it's not what it was, you know, it's okay to tell your mom or tell someone, please, because you matter and your voice matters, and like what happened matters, and what you're going to go through throughout this next like process of life matters. And it doesn't matter like on a small scale. It matters in like the point where like we could all change the world. And I know that this is true because all of those people that have hurt me and hurt you and hurt people that you know and love, like they've changed the world too. And as much as my darkness and my pain had affected the people that I love the most and everybody else around me, like it bled into every aspect of my life. When that happens with light, it's the most incredible thing. But it takes a really long time. And 6 years is a long time to heal. I really had to learn how fear played into my life and how fear was like more, it was an active now in my existence for quite some time. I made a lot of decisions based off of fear. And like I learned how not to how not to do things, essentially, because making decisions when I'm emotionally charged or I'm emotionally like, especially back then, um, it's not good, and my life doesn't turn out good, and there's not good outcomes. And I like, it was so frustrating because I didn't like that about myself, and I didn't understand that about myself, and yet I kept going. And it wasn't until like I learned that light and dark can't exist in the same space that it was a game changer for me. And I am living proof that grief and that pain and that the absolute utter like devastation and heartache that hurts so much that you can feel every single fiber of your heart just like tearing apart like little cell by cell. So it was really through a lot of this heartache, a lot of this thawing out in feelings, and realizing who I am as Candace was one of the most important parts of my life, I believe. It showed me not only who I really want to be and the qualities that I want to bring forward with me in my life since I'm staying on this earth. And I had never thought about that stuff before. I had never thought about like the awareness as to like a future, anything to do with like, oh my God, RSPs to like marriage and to healthy relationships, all because my heart hurt and I didn't know how to share my love with anybody. I didn't know how to love myself. And I'd still never know how to love myself if it wasn't for connectedness. Connectedness is literally the opposite of addiction, and for me, it was the most healing thing. So connecting with other survivors and realizing that, like, for one, I'm not alone. For two, it's not my fault. And it's not your fault either. And like when I talk to other people that have been through the stuff that I've been through, it like infuriates me and it makes me so sad for like what that person went through. And it makes me just, it just really makes me feel for them. And when I was going through this stuff, like I didn't feel like that towards myself. And that's really, really self damaging. It was self damaging. And I thought that I deserved it, I'm sure. I thought a lot of things around it, but the point of this is that, like, this isn't your stuff, and you don't have to feel that way either. I can only imagine that for humanity, the ability for us to mirror each other is probably pretty vital. It's hard to do that when we're all separated and when we're all silenced. And when we're all alone, for us not to be able to mirror each other and for me to say, hey, what that person is doing to you isn't okay. And for you to say, hey, that person didn't say that to you very nicely. You really deserve better. It's like, it's really like these men, these people need to be out there and they need to be exposed and they need to be talked about. And not all of us want our names and our faces out there, and that's beautiful. And not all of us want to have publication bans, and that's beautiful too. Because we're all in our own recovery journey, and that's what this video is about. It's just talking about ways that my life could have been destroyed and also ways that my life avoided and ended up not being destroyed because of different choices that I chose to make because I learned from other people's experiences. I had reached out and I had talked to other people and that's when I wanted to live. And healing has been an absolute trip. It is hard and it's lonely, but pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. And for me to choose to sit in suffering any longer than I really needed to around this topic of this trauma, it would have just created more hurt and pain. And I learned that I have a choice and I choose not to hurt as much as I can. I choose to do things the right way, not the easy way, to the best of my ability, accepting my humanness and in learning to forgive myself. I learned so much. And these are all things that I want to share with you because it has been a long 6 years and it has been a lot of like stuff that's happened. But there's also been a lot of stuff that's happened. Like, there's been miracles beyond belief, and I'm alive today, and you're alive today, and we're both here sitting here staring at each other. So, um, please just be gentle with yourself and understand that you're human too. And, you know, be the ability to give compassion towards other people. It's also like an ability to like give compassion to self as well. And that in itself is some pretty superheroic things. So I just wanted to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m.